what's going on, internet? The Black Hokage here, aka TBH, here on behalf of GamingIlluminaughty.com, and you're checking out a new format. We got a new game review for you guys. It's been a while since we've done a game review. We're about to talk about a little bit about Extinction. I got JG with me. Say what up to the people, Jay.
Hey, what up? What up? Y'all seeing this live? So, yeah, there it is. Hope y'all like it.
Ugly motherfucker. Anyway,
yo, mama, don't be lying. My girl love me. My mama love me so.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, so we're gonna be talking about Extinction today. We got Far Cry 5 coming later, but right now we're talking Extinction. Only me and JG played it because I guess we were the only ones that were willing to actually try something different. A lot of people were saying this game is inspired by Attack on Titan. If you've never heard of Extinction, just a quick kind of brief overview of the game. So Extinction is a third-person action adventure game where you gotta take down these big orcs known as the Rimini or something. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, Ravini. Yep. Big ass orc monsters.
Yeah, something like that. So you have to take them down because I mean, there's a plot twist towards the end. I don't want to spoil it, but basically they're the evil guys. Let's just say that. Just based off the story, how did you feel about that, Jay?
Well, you said that you liked it. I thought that it was okay. Towards the end, when again you mentioned the plot twist, which again we're not going to spoil, and then it got a little bit interesting, but it just kind of seemed like, oh well, these big ass Ravini are trying to destroy us, and for no reason. They didn't really explain like why. They were just saying the Ravini have come and they're trying to destroy everybody. And we were like, okay, well, like, what are we doing here? Why are you trying to transport everybody through these portals? So they didn't really explain that towards like the middle, or like I would say like, yeah, it was probably like the last maybe like 30% of the actual story. So before that, I thought that it was pretty like basic. It was really like Attack on Titan as far as the story, but with the plot twist, it made it just slightly more interesting for me.
Yeah, the story was kind of straightforward, but as we got to the end, there was a nice little plot twist. It didn't blow my mind, and I don't want to say it was worth it when I got towards the end, but it was okay. If anything, I would have to compliment for the game. I do enjoy the art style. I love the vibrant colors in the game. I love like the way that the characters look, and I thought the voice acting was bearable. What about you?
Yeah, voice acting was decent. Like they did have regular like CG cutscenes. It didn't come too often. But they basically just did like every time you got on the stage, they just had the little dialogue boxes, but the voice acting was okay. It wasn't cringy or anything like that. So I'll give them props for that. It was decent. Okay.
As far as gameplay though, let's talk about that, the meat and potatoes. Like I said, this is a third-person action adventure game. A lot of parkour in it. So the way it works is there's like 5 or 6 different levels, and each kind of looks the same with like a different color palette. And you have to jump around these different levels, and you have to take down the Rimini, which are the big orcs, as well as the you remember what the little guys were called?
I forgot off the top of my head. Yeah, I forgot the name of them, but whatever. Those enemies, smaller enemies.
Yeah, those guys.
yeah.
So you had to take down those little guys, and you had to rescue like different people in the city. And then after that, like orcs would attack, and then you would have to try to take down their limbs. And the way that they kind of tried to keep the gameplay fresh was different orcs had different types of armor. Some would just have regular wooden armor, so one hit to the wooden armor would leave their leg open or their arm. And then some would have like locks and like metal. Some like you had to make them hit themselves. Do you feel like they did enough to keep the gameplay fresh with the different types of orcs that you had to attack?
Boy, yes and no. Because I did end up seeing the same types a lot, but towards the end, oh my god, they were so tough that they were frustrating, I would say, because like I spent a good amount of time on some of these chapters. I'm like, bruh, like it was like almost impossible to get some of these Ravini down, but I felt like they did do enough to make it challenging and also frustrating at the same time. We trying to get through it, so I would say yeah, they did.
Freaking level 38, was that the one where like they just kept coming at you and you had to defend the town for like 9 minutes?
Yeah, like 9 minutes. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I almost threw the controller on that part, right? Like they kept giving you the orcs where like you can't kill them unless they hit their armor themselves and damage it, and then you can take it down. Yeah. And the thing is, like the AI felt like was broken in it because they would not attack the armor, and like you were just sitting there. A lot of times I don't know if you noticed, like they would spawn the Ravini right in front of the tower that you were supposed to be defending. Yeah, so I found that to be bullshit. I found it to be cheap. It made me think that there was an algorithm going on, and there wasn't any type of like thought put into the levels. It was kind of like they just put some assets on the table and they was like, deal with it. Hope you get the.
It was a lot of randomly generated stuff because, like, on that particular level that you're talking about, and even before that, some chapters before that, when they introduced those armor Raveni, like when they came in, they sometimes came in like 2 or 3 at a time, and I'm sitting here trying to get their attention, and they just wouldn't pay attention to me. They just started running straight to the tower. I'm like, how am I supposed to defend the towers? But I can't get your attention. I can't get you to do anything. So yeah, that was bullshit. Everything is randomly generated. That was basically the premise of the game. Every single level was randomly generated, including the Raveni. So like sometimes if I died and I came back, I would get a different type of armor type Raveni. So that was basically what they were trying to do. But man, those later chapters definitely frustrating.
One thing I will say that I do like it, because I feel like we bashed it a little too much. In the gameplay, I did like this game gave me a sense of scale, and maybe you didn't feel it because I just came off beating Attack on Titan 2, and then I came over to this game, which was clearly inspired by it. And one thing that Attack on Titan games didn't, like, you were just kind of swinging around, slicing off their necks, like you didn't really get a sense of the scale of the actual Titans, but like, except for like the colossal Titans, like the super boss ones. But like in this game, like it really felt like you were climbing orc, and I thought that was pretty cool. Except for when you get stuck in their armpits or something like that. But yeah. Other than that,
I would have to agree. I streamed the whole game pretty much, and it did feel like a decent mix between Attack on Titan and Shadow of the Colossus. Because on Shadow of the Colossus, you do have to climb those big ass colossus, and that's what that I think that's like a good mix of what they ended up doing. So it was slightly different. You didn't get the exact same feel as Attack on Titan when you had to kill the Titan. So I did like that. It was just frustrating sometimes because, like you said, like you do get stuck. And I'm like, oh my god, like I was at the top, and then something happened, and then I like fell all the way back down. But I do agree with you. The scale was pretty interesting.
How did you feel about the different abilities that you could use in the combat? They had like a decent sized skill tree, and everything you did in the game from rescuing people to killing the orcs gave you skill points. How did you feel about the skill tree?
The skill tree was all right. I would honestly say though that I didn't feel like really too many skills that I got made a huge difference. I feel like probably the most beneficial skill to me was the skill that your rune power doesn't drop beneath a certain amount. That was very helpful because in order to kill the Raveni, you need to develop all your rune power, and then once you get your rune power, that's how you can actually do a finishing blow to the Raveni. And sometimes it got frustrating because it either weren't any of those crystal things that you need to build the rune power, so you had to sometimes just like slice the Raveni multiple times in order to get your rune power up. So I feel like that was probably the most beneficial one. Some of the other ones were just kind of secondary. I felt like, me personally, they didn't really have that much of a benefit compared to like the one I just mentioned. So it was only like a couple here and there that I felt like were really really important, but the other ones, like, you could really go throughout the game without getting them, in my opinion.
I would actually argue I didn't really see much. The only one that I really found to be effective was the one where it helped you, like, you know how you had to rescue the people and send them through the crystal, the teleportation crystal?
Oh, yeah. That was the number one most important one.
Yeah, that one, like, it would increase the speed of doing that so you could get it done quicker. That was the only one that I felt like helped me. The ones where, like, you could jump higher and glide longer and stuff like that, I didn't really see a difference, and that's mainly because the orcs are like 100 feet tall. So I mean, what's 10% extra to my jump? It didn't really feel like I was doing anything.
Yeah, I agree.
And on top of that, I really didn't like. Did you notice when you beat the game that you unlocked a new skill?
Yes.
You got the wall running. Why didn't we get wall running in the game? Period.
Would have been the shit. Why was that reserved for after you beat the game?
And for those of you who haven't played the game is like 40 levels. I just finished playing 40 levels. In the last 2 levels in the game, there's a crazy difficulty spike. I swear I spent like the last 2 hours of my gameplay trying to beat those last 2 levels. Well, not the last level. It was just level 38, I think, or 39, something like that.
Yeah, it like reminded me of Shadow of War. It was giving me those vibes. I'm like, yo, like, this shit is like almost impossible. Like, what am I supposed to do here? I just keep dying. They keep dying, so...
And I just thought that was really interesting that they thought that their game was good enough that I'd want to play it again just to fucking wall run. I don't
want to do the time trials. I'm good.
Yeah, we're definitely good on that. What's the name? I did like the anime cutscenes. How'd you feel about those?
No, I thought that again, you mentioned like the art style. A lot of people were saying it was like Fortnite. I'm like, this is not like the first like cartoony style game. Like I don't know what Fortnite is like. It came in your mind, but I did like the art style. And the CG cutscenes were pretty cool as well. I did like the cartoony anime type of style for that. So it did its job. It was good.
Yeah, I agree. I actually wish that there were more of them in it. I actually really enjoyed the art style that they did that. You would only get a cutscene like once every 10 levels, because like every 10 levels was like the end of the chapter. Right. If we got them like every few levels, I would appreciate it, because I thought they did a really good job with the cutscenes and kind of how they told the story. One thing that I did not like though was, did you ever feel like you were fighting the camera in the game?
Yes, all the time, especially climbing up the Ravini.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like there'd be like random times I would just get caught in people's armpits, or like they would drop and I would try to slice their other leg off, and he would just kind of, like, the camera would just kind of spaz out on me. So I don't know how they could improve that, but that was one critique that I really didn't enjoy.
But they didn't really have like a true lock-on feature. I know that it showed, but like when I tried to use it, it didn't work for me. So I don't know if it worked for you. Because I saw like it had a symbol of the Ravini, and then it had like an eye next to it, and then it had a button to press, but it didn't work for me. And I wish that they would have had like a true lock-on system for the Ravini, and I felt like I probably wouldn't have got lost so much.
You reminded me, yeah, that was one thing. Not even just the Ravini lock-on system, the little minions you had to kill. Like, there was no lock-on system. I don't know if you noticed. Like, you just had to kind of go with the camera, and then on top of that, I felt like it took too long to kill the minions. Like, and that was half of what made the game hard for me. I felt like I was spending a half an hour slicing at minions, and then by the time I would kill them, because you know you had to be at full power before you could slice their neck off. That's one thing that's different from Attack on Titan. So you had to attack those minions. So I found them to be a pain in the ass, and like some of the upgrades would increase your power, and I never really felt like my basic attacks got stronger.
Yeah, you know what I ended up doing? I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing combos on these little minions anymore. I'm just going to do my rune attack on them, and that worked. So every time I ended up, like, especially when I got toward the later chapters, all that I did was just use my rune attack and just aim at them, and then just hit them a couple times, and then they'll die. I didn't even bother about doing combos, because even when I try to do combos, they're still swiping at the civilians. So I'm like, how am I supposed to save the civilians and get the freaking crystal and kill them at the same time? Like, sometimes it was just impossible. And then you on the time difference as well, because while you're trying to kill the minions, the Ravinians run around knocking the towers. So it was just a lot going on.
Which goes back to that randomly generated stuff I was talking about. I was like, I'm pretty sure these levels are randomly generated. Another thing that I did not like was freaking like, did it feel satisfying to kill the orcs for you?
It did at first, but it lost its flavor pretty quick. I would say besides like when the armored Ravini started coming, the ones that I couldn't destroy their armor at all, then it got a little bit satisfying when I finally, you know, found a way to get to them. But in the beginning stages, like it just kind of lost its flavor for me.
I feel like co-op would have been what it could have. I don't want to say saved this game, but it would have made it a lot more funny to play with a friend and watch them get crushed or whatever. But I know in the storyline, I guess he said he didn't want to revive what was the name of the assassins? The Avils?
The Sentinels.
Yeah, the Sentinels. Yeah, he didn't want to revive them for whatever reason, I guess.
I thought we were going to be able to play with Xandra. Like, it was just Avil and Xandra the whole time, and I think that co-op would have been dope if you would have thrown her in there. I don't know if she was necessarily like a Sentinel or whatever, if she knew how to fight, but like she was a main character nonetheless.
No, she was an engineer. Remember, she had to help create the crystals. Like, she was the one that was actually moving the story along, so that wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe, or like I know it was another dude who you ended up seeing as well. Maybe you could have thrown him in there, but he ended up coming later on, so I guess that still wouldn't work either.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was the last Sentinel left. So
it is what it is. That's all I got on my notes, and we're at the 13-minute mark. I feel like that's long enough right there, just talking about the game. So for those of you who have not actually watched any of our reviews, because we've only done one, go check out the Dragon Ball FighterZ review. We're going to be doing more of these. It's just kind of hard to get all the guys to play all the games and try to beat them in the timely manner when there's like 9 of us. But thank God only 2 of us played this one. Far Cry 5 coming soon. So the way that we do it is we each give an individual score, and then I put it into the calculator right here on my phone, and then I average it out, and that's the official GI score. So you got the floor, JG. What do you give Extinction out of 10?
I will give it just the fact that it didn't take too long to beat. It was, even though it was frustrating, it was difficult enough, I would say that. So it's not just something that you can like just slide through and just think that everything is okay. Didn't have as many cutscenes as I would hope for. I would actually give this, I'll give it a 6.5. It's almost an average score. It's not a terrible game, but I wouldn't say that it's something like you should just run out and buy. If you like Attack on Titan, then I would say give this a try for sure. But I don't think that it's something that you can run out and just buy like day one or anything. But it was okay. It was okay. So 6.5 for me.
I feel that. I feel like the gameplay got a little bit repetitive towards the end, but overall, I did enjoy it for the most part. I feel like it wasn't an amazing plot twist at the end, but it did save the story a little bit and made it a little bit more interesting than what I thought it was going to be. So for my score, I'm gonna knock it up 5 points. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. So 6.5 plus 7 is 13.5. We divide that by 2. And the official score for Extinction from GI is a 6.7. How you feel about that score there, JG?
6.7 is fair. Definitely fair for this game. And it's on console too, so.
Yeah. It's available on PC, Xbox, PS4. Not on the Switch though.
No Switch for this one. I feel like this game could have been on the Switch. I feel like a lot of games could be on the Switch, and we're seeing this a lot more, but not this one.
Yeah, because Attack on Titan 2 is actually on the Switch, but yeah, those are our opinions. You got any last things to say before we wrap this one up?
Nah, not really. Just if you do get this game, prepare to be frustrated when you get to those later chapters. I'm telling you, because these Reveni will get on your nerves, especially on the defense missions. Boy, oh boy, those are terrible.
Pick that shit up in the bargain bin. So if you guys enjoyed this format, this type of review, let us know in the comment section below. Do you like it when we do the camera and the switch and all this stuff? It took a second to set up, but we trying to improve, y'all. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Also, if you want to further support us on Patreon at patreon.com/GI updates. You can be in a lot of different videos, not these videos though, because these are official GI scores. We want these to be our opinions, because one of the reasons that I actually wanted to do the reviews like this is I feel like a lot of people complain, like IGN and GameSpot, they'll do their reviews, and a lot of people don't understand that the review of that person, like let's say the 7 out of 10 too much water for freaking Pokemon, that was the review, the opinion of that female. It wasn't necessarily the opinion of the entire whatever 200 300 staff is on IGN. I feel like for us to come together, which is harder because like I said, coordinating and trying to beat all the games, we are putting our official opinion. This is what we think. This is not what an individual thinks. This is what we think. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like I said, patreon.com/GI updates. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new, and we're gonna have more reviews on the way. Other than that, we're gonna holler at y'all. Say peace to the people, man.
Peace out, yo.
All right, y'all. Peace.